The next scam to consider is what's called rug pulls. Now, this is how it works. Developers create fake tokens or DeFi projects. They attract a lot of investment and then they withdraw all the funds from the liquidity pool. All I can say in this case is one, don't have all your Bitcoin or crypto or money tied up in one exchange. One of the biggest scams in history, I hate to say, was only in 2022. Now, it was the FTX collapse. Now, what happened was, the lesson here, guys, is don't have all of your crypto or Bitcoin tied up into one exchange. The best thing to do is to use self-custody and take possession of your own assets. I'm Matthew Fraser, and this is Crypto Collective. After making millions with Amazon and e-commerce, I realized that if I was starting again today, crypto would be my first choice. I'm here to help you take your first steps and build real wealth. Ready to set yourself up for life? Let's go. Hey guys, welcome to Crypto Collective. My name is Matthew Fraser, and in this episode, I'm going to educate you on the scams to avoid, because as you can appreciate, the internet is full of scams, right? So let's break down some of the biggest crypto and Bitcoin scams over the past few years, and I'm going to break down some of the very sophisticated scams that you must avoid. One of the biggest scams in history, I hate to say, was only in 2022. Now, it was the FTX collapse. Now, what happened was FTX was once a major exchange. It was so big that it had a race car team named after it. Was the Mercedes race car team, had FTX on their jerseys and FTX on the race cars, the Formula One race car team. They also had an FTX stadium over in America. They had so many celebrities endorsing FTX. So from the outset, it was very easy for the common person, and there were a lot of people who just believed that this was a legitimate organization. But they went bankrupt after revelations of misused customer funds. Now, this left investors with billions in losses and widespread disruption in centralized platforms. Now, aside to this, a friend of mine had his life savings of $40,000 tied up in a company called Celsius. And unfortunately, Celsius was simply a casualty of the FTX collapse. So even though all of his money wasn't even in FTX, but because FTX went down, the other company also went down and he lost all of his money overnight. So the lesson here, guys, is don't have all of your crypto or Bitcoin tied up into one exchange. The best thing to do is to use self-custody and take possession of your own assets. The next biggest scam in history was Mt. Gox. Now, this was between 2011 and 2014. And essentially what happened was some guys, some scrupulous criminals, they tapped into the server, which was based in Japan, and stole at least 647,000 Bitcoins over that period. Now, Mt. Gox was the largest Bitcoin exchange in existence at the time, handling around 70% of Bitcoin transactions globally. As you can appreciate, this was the early days of Bitcoin, so it really left a very bad stain on the Bitcoin industry, as so many people lost so much money. So I've just highlighted two of the biggest scams in crypto history, but let me just say this as well. There's also been people that have lost money, not just from crypto, but also from banks, okay? So don't think that just investing in crypto means you're gonna lose your money. There's been widespread corruption and scams and losses in the traditional finance sector as well. Now we've spoken about that, let's move on to some of the day-to-day scams that you'll find all over the internet, especially social media. And these are the ones that you really must have your eyes open to because they're very easy to get suckered into. So number one, pump and dump schemes. Now, this is how it works. Influencers or groups, they artificially inflate the price of any coin or token by hyping it up all over social media and saying it's the best thing since sliced bread. And then what they do, once the price has gone up, they sell it off and take the money away from the asset, right? And this, of course, causes the price to crash and you're left with absolutely nothing. Now, how to avoid this? Do your independent research and avoid jumping into any hypey cryptos that you think seem to be the best thing since sliced bread. The second one will be phishing scams. Now, how it works is scammers mimic legitimate platforms to steal your login credentials or private keys through fake websites, emails, or DMs. So an example of this might be you log onto a website that you think is Coinbase or Binance, one of the really big exchanges. It looks legitimate. So you start entering in your login details, but in actual fact, it's a fake website. So you've now given in all your login details to the scammers, which they now then use and go into the real website and start siphoning out all of your crypto and money. So how to avoid these? Double check the URLs and never share your private keys or seed phrases with anybody. You can obviously use some very good software tools to help identify scam or fake websites, because they'll flash up with a warning if you accidentally go to them. So the next one will be social phishing scams. Now, this is how they work. They leverage the comments and social proof on YouTube, TikTok, and other platforms. Now, even just the other day, I went into my own YouTube comments and there starts to be a lot of them. They're generally made by bots, right? It's not really real people just sitting there typing out this information. And this is what they say. It'll have a comment that'll say, I've just made $60,000 in the last month. My life has been completely changed. Thank you to Mary Jane from XYZ finance company. She's been amazing. Then another comment will pop up, also fake, saying, yes, I agree. I also made $10,000 profit last month. This person is amazing. Then another comment will pop up. This is also fake. It'll say, wow, I would also love to change my life. How do I get in contact with this person? Then another fake comment will come up and say, here are the details where you can contact them, but time is limited. She probably won't take on many clients, so you better act fast. So it gives you that sense of urgency. You've got validation from other comments there that make it seem like it's legit. The other thing to identify these as well is quite often is the username is some weird name, generally ending with, some 2XY710, right? That's in their username, so it looks a bit off. So use your common sense. I would definitely not be contacting anybody through a WhatsApp platform because it's probably going to be a fake. Hey, just quickly, if you're ready to dive deeper into crypto and Bitcoin and build real wealth, join my free crypto collective community. It's where I share exclusive insights and strategies and live discussions to help you succeed, whether you're a beginner or scaling your portfolio. Click on the link in the description and join us today. Now back to the episode. The next one is a fake doubling of your crypto offers. Now, this one I personally came across only in recent months. And I was watching YouTube and I'm always looking out for obviously big people in the crypto space, namely in this case, Michael Saylor. Now, Michael Saylor is probably what I would call the Jesus or the evangelist of Bitcoin right now. And a lot of people rely on his words when it comes to the Bitcoin space. Now, he had done a video or an interview with the PBD podcast people with Patrick Bet-David. And what the scammers had done is they'd simply taken the original footage and changed Michael's audio. So in the scam video, it said, hey, we would love to help people make a lot more money with Bitcoin. We think it's generational wealth. All you have to do is tap on the QR code that's on the screen and then just send us any amount of Bitcoin. It could be $5 or $100 or $100,000. And once you've done that, we will then return the same amount of Bitcoin back to you. So if you send us $500, we'll send you back $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. The voice that was on the scam video was generated with AI. So it sounded nearly identical to Michael Saylor. Now, because I listened to a lot of Michael Saylor myself, there was just some red flags, even as I was listening to it, because I remember I was actually mowing the lawn at the time on my ride-on mower, so I didn't actually see the footage. But as I was listening, I was like, that something sounds right. And I stopped and then pulled out my phone to look at the footage and then realized, wow, this is a scam. A lot of people are going to fall for this. And this particular scam was rolled out with not just himself, but other big celebrities in the Bitcoin and crypto space. including people like Luke Belmar of recent days. So you have to be careful. If it sounds too good to be true, like send us some Bitcoin and we'll send you double back, you know it's absolutely not. And a lot of these platforms will not ask you to do that. Michael Saylor would never ask you to send him Bitcoin, clearly because he's got enough. And I would never be clicking on any QR codes. Assume everything is a fake. So the other one to think about is influencer deepfakes. Now, just like I mentioned in the previous scenario where people use Michael Saylor or other big time celebrities in the space, they're also getting tricky by using what I would call the lesser known people, but known to you. So for example, it might even use myself reaching out to you, and it'll have my picture in the icon. It'll say, hey, thank you for so much for following my channel. I've got an amazing opportunity. And it might be done through either WhatsApp, or it might be done through the comment section or some other means. Now you think, wow, this guy's just reached out to me. This is fantastic. Oh, this is so good. He wants to work with me. But it turns out to be a fake. Now, this exact scam happened to me only this year. And it was a guy who I knew, not personally, but I knew of them. And what had happened, they sent me some messages through, I think it was Instagram. And my initial thought was, wow, this John guy's contacting me. Isn't that nice? Oh, wow. He's obviously realized I've got a YouTube channel. And when I checked out the social media page, I then realized that there were two pages that looked nearly identical, except the scammer Instagram page had very limited comments and limited likes, but the pictures, the initial headline, the bio looked the same. So very quickly though, within our discussion with the scammer, myself with the scammer, once he got to the point where he said, hey, I know someone who can help you make some money, contact XYZ person through this WhatsApp channel, then I knew for sure that it was a scam. So it can happen to everybody. The next scam to consider is what's called rug pulls. Now, this is how it works. Developers create fake tokens or DeFi projects. They attract a lot of investment, and then they withdraw all the funds from the liquidity pool. So what they'll do is they might create some sort of a meme coin. Let's call it Mr. Elephant. And then they'll hype it up through social media. People will pile in. And as soon as the price of the Mr. Elephant coin has gone up, they'll pull all the funds out, pulling all the liquidity out. And then next thing, you've got no money left to sell your tokens because they're now worth nothing. Now, the way to avoid these would be to do a lot of research, only purchase things that are verified or have strong use cases. Now, what you'll also find is that the more legitimate type of cryptos will be on higher profile exchanges like Coinbase, Binance, or in Australia, CoinSpot or SwiftX. Some of these lesser known type of tokens will be on some DeFi platforms where anything goes. It's like the Wild West. So if you want to avoid these types of scams, only stick to perhaps the well-known exchanges. Now, this is going to become as an obvious one, but these types of scams are called Ponzi schemes disguised as crypto projects. Now, how it works is the projects lure investors in with promises of high returns and use new investor money to pay off earlier investors. There's absolutely nothing behind the project, just other people's money. So you put more money in, and then when it's your turn to get paid out, someone else's money is used to pay you out, right? And the cycle just goes on and on and on. Now, this type of Ponzi scam is not just for crypto, because of course, the term Ponzi scheme has been around for many, many years, not just in crypto, but in the traditional finance sector predominantly. It's just simply now they've transferred the traditional finance Ponzi scheme over to crypto. The scam is the same. Now, how to avoid these types of scams? Be extremely cautious of platforms with guaranteed returns or recruitment-based growth models, like a multi-level marketing type arrangement. Now, as you can appreciate, guaranteed returns is probably a number one red flag, because in any type of market, you simply cannot guarantee a particular return. So guys, let me tell you some of the things that you must adhere to if you don't want to get scammed. And let me just say this too. This is not to scare you into crypto. It's not to make you not want to invest in anything into crypto. It's just me wanting to highlight some of the things that you may come across. And my ultimate goal for you is to protect your crypto, protect your wealth. So first thing, expect everything is a scam. Second thing, don't click on any unknown links. Third, assume that the high profile person contacting you for an amazing opportunity is either not them and not real. Fourth, never ever give out your private keys or your passwords. That is a big no-no. That is just a recipe for disaster. Number 5, never give your Bitcoin or crypto to anyone unknown. And 6, just treat everything with absolute suspicion. So guys, thank you so much for joining me in this episode. If you want to find more about scams to avoid and also how to make money in Bitcoin and crypto to create generational wealth for you and your family, come and join my free online community. It's called Crypto Collective. Find the link in the description. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. Thanks for tuning in to Crypto Collective. If you've enjoyed this episode, the best way to show your support is to leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast or Spotify, and make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode. You can also find more of me at I'm Matthew Fraser on all social media platforms.